Straight away, first shot, we see Morpheus, Neo and Trinity going against the crowd. The obvious metaphor there is that Neo went against the architect's plan in the end of the Matrix Reloaded. Look at the lift numbers on the right here. The top, 101. Obviously the kind of connection to computer binary, 101010. The number 1 appears a lot in the Matrix franchise. I mean, obviously Neo is an anagram of the word one, N-E-O. Morpheus says, "What can you see, Neo?" Now, to the first viewer, you might think, well, why is Morpheus asking Neo what he can see? They're just in a lift. He can just see the doors of the lift. Remember, Neo can see the code. So right now, Neo's not really seeing the lift doors or the walls or anything or the lights. He's just seeing all the green code around him. Now, why has Neo noticed Ramachandra out of everyone in this room? It could mean that Ramachandra is showing guilt on his face that Neo can read. Remember, Neo can read the code. Neo can read anybody's emotions. So if someone's feeling guilty, Neo can see it in their code. Ramachandra has just basically betrayed the Oracle. That's what Neo is seeing on his face. The Merovingian says, "Neo, the one himself, right?" Again, trying to kind of show off how clever he is, because he knows about the One, he knows that Neo is the 6th version of the One, but Neo doesn't know how he knows. As Ramachandra explains in the Matrix Revolutions, the word love or wife or anything like this is not important. What's important is the connection that the word implies. So when the Merovingian says that Persephone is his wife, you got to think to yourself, it's the connection that that word implies that the Merovingian means here. Maybe they link together and suddenly all their little bugs get cleared away. We don't know. The Merovingian again is trying to show off how he knows what's going on. He knows that everything is fake, blah 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 blah, but he has to make Neo and Trinity and Morpheus know that he knows. So he says, food, something to eat, drink, of course, such things are contrivances, like so much here. So he's saying, I know this is all fake, just so you know I know too. This might be a kind of in-joke here that the Merovingian says to his programs, because, talking about time, he is a program who has survived different iterations of the Matrix. So he has survived for years and years, maybe hundreds of years is the theory. So when he talks about time, he's basically saying, ugh, you puny humans and your time. Something about the coding of that red wine connects with the coding of him personally. Remember, everything in here was written by a machine. Everything in here is fake and coded. So what it means is that they coded the Merovingian to have some kind of craving for the coding inside red wine. And why would they do that? It's because they want the Merovingian to appear high class, high end. He needs luxury products. When he says, I have sampled every language, that's such a throwaway little line, but think about it. He has literally sampled every language. He is a program who's been around for hundreds of years, so he can sample every single language that the humans have ever come up with and say what fits best with his programming. Now please correct me if I'm wrong, but this translation is, name of God of a shitty whorehouse of slutty idiots, mothers of a***s. Now if you want to know what that actually was, please Google it yourself, because I don't want this video to be demonetized. A trafficker of information. Now in computer terms, what could that be? In actuality, we learn eventually that he was the operating system of the original Matrix. If you want to learn more about who the Merovingian was, then please click in the top right corner right now. So we know eventually at the end of the Matrix Reloaded that this is the 6th version of the Matrix, and every time the One has to go through a little journey, a little adventure, meet whoever, meet the Oracle, blah blah, and then eventually they get to the architect's room and they choose door A. However, we don't know exactly the journey that the One always goes on. It might be different every time. So therefore in this exchange here, when the Merovingian says, do you know why you're here? He might be trying to kind of get the information out of Morpheus, saying, what are you doing this time? This is the 6th time this has happened. How are you doing it? Is there a keymaker this time? Is there not a keymaker this time? Which opens a bigger question. Why was the keymaker special to this cycle? Because he's just become an exile. Why? Because the machines have seen that Smith has become a virus and is managing to spread just slightly throughout the Matrix. So therefore, the whole idea of there being secret doors is kind of outdated. They flagged the Keymaker for deletion, the Keymaker chose exile, and when he chose exile, he immediately wound up in the Merovingian's dungeon. Look at the disdain that the Merovingian has when he says that. You were here because you were sent here, almost in a mocking way. He's highlighting to Neo that he just did exactly what the Oracle told him to do, and that mirrors what he says eventually about choice being an illusion. This line is so key. I mean, you could basically pin the entire Matrix trilogy on this one line here. Choice is an illusion created by those with power to those without. That is the key to Neo's choice. That's Neo's adventure. That's Neo's journey to the Architect's Room. When he goes to the Architect's Room, he learns that his entire choice of his whole life has not been a choice at all. I wrote it myself. Again, on first viewing, that line's like, what? How'd you write a cake? But then, of course, you realise it's all fake. It's a computer-coded language. He typed the cake language himself, line by line. He's trying to demonstrate to Neo and Trinity and Morpheus his power. This is quite key. You can see it, Neo, yes? He specifies Neo. He's saying, Neo, look at what I'm doing, look at what I'm doing. He's trying to get Neo's approval. Maybe, the 6th time round, he is just starting to learn that maybe he should get the one on his side. For 5 times before, he's never really been on the side of the one. He's been in exile. He's been kind of doing his own thing. Maybe this time he's saying, Neo, take a look at what I'm doing. The why and the reason they're gone. So he's trying to kind of echo what he said to Morpheus about choice is an illusion, choice doesn't matter. He's saying all that matters is action, reaction. This action, I made this cake, and that reaction of that woman enjoying it. All that matters is the feeling itself. Where do we hear that? We hear that in the Analyst in the Matrix Resurrections. His whole shtick is that he basically redesigned this brand new Matrix with Neo and Trinity and their own special pods to forget the idea of choice. There is an echo of this within the Merovingian's cake here. This is an example of Merovingian's megalomania. He has grown so powerful within the Matrix, and he's become so in love with his own power that he's starting to look outside the Matrix. He's talking about the universe now. Look at who he's talking to here. He's looking directly at Neo and he says, you is what separates us from them. And then he motions towards Trinity and Morpheus. He's saying, me and you, Neo, we are the best. We can do things. See, this is why I think the Merovingian is trying to get Neo on his side. It's the 6th version of the Matrix. Again, Neo's very confused about this, because as far as Neo's concerned, there is only this one Matrix. He is the one, and that's it. But of course, the Merovingian realizes this happened 5 times before. So he's kind of a bit disappointed with Neo now. He's saying, oh, you haven't come to me knowing the reason why, so you're just another one that I'm going to have to ignore. And this line kind of hits the nail on the head as to why he's so bitter about being replaced. He says, run back and give the fortune teller this message. He calls her fortune teller, almost a kind of derogatory term for Oracle. This line, her time is almost up. He is damn right about that, because as we just saw 5 minutes ago, Ramachandra sold the Oracle's shell kill code to the Merovingian. So he thinks he's about to get one up on her, and he's right. This exchange here kind of explains the problem again, is that they're just simply following orders. The Merovingian's kind of right. These 3, Morpheus, Neo and Trinity, have just gone to the Merovingian because the Oracle told them to. He's saying that they need a reason, they need a why, and Neo comes up with a why eventually. It's in the Architect's Room. It's when he then decides, oh, I am going to break the chain because I want to save Trinity. That why is the key. So the Merovingian is kind of right. What happened happened and couldn't have gone any other way. How do you know? We are still alive. That exemplifies Morpheus' entire view on life, is that he's following the prophecy. In his mind, there is only one way to do things, and that's the prophecy. If you're still alive, that means you're following the prophecy. But as we learn eventually, he's very, very wrong.
Thank you for watching that, everybody. If it was a help to you and you really liked learning about the Matrix lore, then please subscribe to Jam Punch, and I'll be releasing a brand new Matrix Explained video every single week. My name is George, this is Jam Punch, and I'll see you next time.